Welcome to a very special slap-together edition of This Week in Fantasy Baseball. This week, we'll break down league action, talk about how Alex Rodriguez is probably on steroids, and we'll have a three-way conference call with the managers of Fly Tetas and Whacktose Intolerance, who will finally hash out their disagreement over the controversial Aramis Ramirez trade. Checking out the standings as we are at the midway point of Week 4 in the Brooklyn Zoo 4 League, Hootie Who continues to blowfish the competition. Though they are currently tied with the Throbbing Gyro Balls, they have a commanding lead over Kashmir Ferocity this week, so don't look for Hootie Who to go away anytime soon. In both reality baseball and fantasy baseball, people won't stop talking about how great Alex Rodriguez is.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down.
There are a lot of reasons thrown out to explain A-Rod's power surge. It could be that he just doesn't give a fuck anymore. It could be that he's entering the prime of his career. Or it could also be that he's lost a lot of body fat and gone from 18% to 10% body fat. Now, A-Rod's weight is listed anywhere between 190 and 225, but if his body fat percentage is 10, that means his FFMI, or fat-free mass index, is somewhere between 21.5 and 25.5. The lowest level thought to be possible for a person not on steroids is 25. You can come up with your own explanations for why Alex Rodriguez looks like a new hitter, but I've come up with my own explanation, and it is that he is getting shots in the ass from Giambi. But the real story in the Brooklyn Zoo League is not A-Rod, it is the controversial Aramis Ramirez for Brad Penny trade that went down between Bong Hits for Jesus and the Fly Tetas. Whacktose Intolerance cried foul and let his displeasure with the trade be known. This started a battle of words, or rather fantasy baseball board postings between the Fly Tetas and Whacktose Intolerance. I had the chance to speak with both of these feuding managers via a three-way teleconference, and this is how it went. So I have via teleconference right now the managers of two teams involved in this week's major controversy, which was the trade of Brad Penny for Aramis Ramirez. A trade...
I think that's Aramis.
So right now we have the manager of Fly Tetas, Brian, who was one of the parties involved in the trade, who picked up Aramis for Brad Penny.
Well, good morning, Ben.
We have another manager who is not involved in the trade, the manager of Whacktose Intolerance, Michael, joining us from the West Coast. Hi, Michael.
Present.
So, Brian, please explain for us what this trade was all about and why you made this trade.
Really, I have a star-studded fantasy baseball pitching staff. The brightest of those stars being Brad Penny, the shiningest penny in the bunch, if you will. 3 starts, 3 wins, a .89 ERA. And so I looked at my low-life batting staff and noticed an obvious gap at third base. I thought, let me turn Brad Penny into at least a passable third baseman, and that's what I did.
Michael, could you explain your position on this?
Well, when you're talking about a player like Aramis, you're talking about a player with 3-year splits of 35 home runs, 110 RBIs, and 100 runs. Clearly an elite player who's off to a torrid start, I believe hitting about 370. On the other hand, you've got Brad Penny. Sure, his ERA is great, but he's actually walked more people than he has struck out people in each outing that he's played in this year. And right now he has a whip that's over 1.3. clearly not an elite player. You know, sure, he's been off to a great start with 3 good wins, but, I mean, every single fool knows that, statistics regress to the norm. I mean, it's all about statistics in baseball.
You mentioned that Brad Penny, also boyfriend of Alyssa Milano.
But, I mean, seriously, people, check your Yahoo Big Board.
Now it's fair to say you wouldn't have made this trade, but why do you think, and you did eventually remove your protest to this trade with the threat attached to it, and I quote, "I'm going to withdraw my trade protest, but, 1, at the end of the season, please take note of how much more of an important Ramirez has been compared to Penny, and 2, you better not vote against any trades I make." And that sort of started off intense debate here, and the words that seem to be used the most are aggressively dicky, propaganda, and
I believe the word liar was thrown around.
yeah, and ridiculous with at least 6 eyes.
I think every single one of those eyes was justified.
And in the process, you also managed to criticize Brian's ability to be a fantasy baseball commissioner.
But I mean, everyone knows Sheeler's a notorious liar. I've known him for a long time, and I've seen him lie to his mother, his teachers, and even some girls he wanted to have sex with.
In response, I'd just like to say that I think hair gel has pickled Mike's brain.
I mean, come on. Who thinks that Brad Penny's really better than Carlos Zambrano?
Well, apparently Bong Hits for Jesus does. Right. Well, this brings up the question, is Bong Hits for Jesus a capable manager, and are the other managers in this league a bunch of idiots?
Well, I've said it over and over again. Basically, this whole league is filled with beginners. I mean, maybe they played a season or 2 of fantasy baseball before, but they don't know, they don't understand. They don't understand sabermetrics. I mean, Sheeler, do you even know what PECOTA stands for?
I know what VORP is.
Yeah, I mean, this is what's important in fantasy baseball. I'm talking about peripheral ERA, Pythagorean expectation, runs created, secondary average, speed score. None of these people know anything. It's all about statistics and sabermetrics, and you guys know that. You damn well know it. I mean, I think my record speaks for itself. Come by my desk at work or click on my Yahoo profile link. Either way, you're going to see a damn lot of fantasy sports trophies.
I will admit to being somewhat envious of Michael's fantasy sports profile.
Yeah, and that's not even counting my regular season titles.
The best yardstick we have for a fantasy baseball player's performance is his past 3 years, statistical averages. There's, at the same time, that we are dealing with sports. There's a certain random factor that you can't account for, no matter, with however much statistics, you just can't anticipate an aberration.
Anyway, this league needs somebody protected. So I give advice where I can, and I protest trades where I can. And if I end up winning a couple of leagues because my advice didn't turn out to be completely correct, then so be it. Ultimately, the numbers don't lie, but Brian Sheeler does.
And Bong Hits for Jesus, what's going to happen to him in all of this? Is he the real loser here?
Clearly a stoner who has no idea what he's doing.
I think he does have a drug problem, Ben.
All right, thank you guys. Have a pleasant Sunday afternoon.
Put that out there, Ben. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.